In the top stories, police report crime drop in the north. Vehicular accidents claim one life and leave several injured over the weekend. And Barbados Pride beat Trinidad and Tobago Red Force in regional cricket. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, March 14th, 2016. I'm Natasha Beckles. Although crime in Barbados was up by 13 or 14% in 2015, it fell in the northern part of the island. Superintendent Bruce Rowe, who heads the Northern Division, outlined some of their success during a ceremony honoring some of the police officers.
The Northern Division, for the second successive year, have recorded a reduction in overall crime. In 2015, we achieved our objectives in reducing crime by 7.27%. In numbers, that is by 118 cases over 2014. And this has been continuous now for the last 2 years. Such crimes, major crimes that were impacted and reduced would have been crimes against property, which decreased by 151 cases or 33.78%. Robberies decreased by 4 or 16%. Assaults with intent to rob decreased by 25%. Aggravated burglaries in the division came down by 8 or 61.53%.
Meanwhile, Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite hailed the work of the drug squad, which had a 300% rise in drug-related charges over 2014. The coveted Constable of the Year award went to Derek Boyce, while Acting Sergeant Carlos Hall was named Sergeant of the Year. It was a weekend of tragedy as 2 Barbadians lost their lives and more than 5 others were injured in vehicular accidents. On Sunday, motorcyclist Ewan Noel was struck and killed in an accident at the junction of Sion Hill and Upper Carlton No. 1 St. James, while cyclist Barry Seeley collapsed and died on Barbados Hill on the way to a friend's home. On the Kingsland stretch of the ABC Highway, 5 people were injured in a 2-car smash-up, which left 90-year-old Ergerton Hunt with 2 broken legs. Meanwhile, St. John resident Siobhan Oliver remains in serious condition at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after his cycle struck a fence in Mason Hall Street last Saturday. 4 men were granted bail when they appeared in Criminal Court No. 1 on Monday, charged with entering the home of Kenrick Tugwell and stealing $3,000. Barbadians Damien Bino and Tremaine Yard, along with Jamaicans Shamir Cole and Omar Smith, pleaded not guilty to the offense, which occurred between March 10th and 11th. They were each granted bail of $3,000 and are scheduled to reappear on May 3rd and March 24th. Police say they are receiving more reports of domestic violence, but it may be because people now have more confidence in the force. This is according to head of the Family Conflict Intervention Unit, Sergeant Christine Husbands. She said the unit, which was formed in 2013, has been working closely with communities and non-governmental organizations. Sergeant Husbands was speaking on the sidelines of a recent domestic violence bystander intervention workshop. The aim was to inform various segments of the community about the work of the police and how bystanders can assist. Barbados joined the rest of the world in observing World Commonwealth Day on Monday. Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave headed a congregation of diplomats and youth at a multi-faith service hosted by the Barbados branch of the Royal Commonwealth Society at James Street Methodist Church. The annual service also celebrated the 60th anniversary of the Duke of Edinburgh's International Award. Young people figured prominently in the program, in which representatives from various religions read from their respective holy books. Parents and caregivers are being urged to be aware of the signs of childhood depression. The advice comes from neuropsychologist Dr. Tony Nichols, who said cases of suspected attention deficit hyperactivity disorder could actually be depression. She said family issues such as job loss or trauma can negatively affect children. Dr. Nichols was speaking during a ceremony at which the Sand Lane Charitable Trust donated more than $18,000 to a program called Neuropsychology for All.
And so what the grant will enable me to do would be to see kids who can't afford those services It's a subsidized grant, so families can contribute what they wish. We don't really put a specific amount. It's whatever the families can wish to contribute. And so far, the families are incredibly generous in wanting to help and keep the program going. So the grant will enable me to see a range of children. I've been getting a number of referrals from kids from the pediatric department of the King Elizabeth Hospital. They're very appreciative.
Students of St. Ambrose Primary had some special guests for their weekly drop and read session recently. They were visited by 12 students and 3 teachers from Forman Boarding School in Connecticut in the United States. The week-long learning trip to Barbados was done in conjunction with the Lions Club for St. Michael. In sport, it is good news out of Trinidad, where Barbados Pride defeated Trinidad and Tobago Red Force by 7 wickets in their regional 4-day match on Monday. After enforcing the follow-on on Sunday, Trinidad set Barbados a target of 71 runs, which they reached about an hour after tea. Scores: Barbados Pride 396 and 74 for 3, Red Force 226 and 240. Finishing the goal project at Wildy is one of the main objectives of Football Association President Randy Harris. He spoke to Nation Sports on Sunday after securing his second 4-year term.
I want to see the completion of the Wildy project, the goal project, because we need to have a proper facility if football is to improve. At the moment, a lot of people are staying away from football because we don't have adequate facility. We don't have seating, and the lighting is a bit dull. It really doesn't help our cause. But those things are in trend, and I am hoping that within 2 years we can have up there the kind of quality that we need to attract clubs and colleges from North America and Europe, and try to improve on our revenue at the gates.
Mr. Harris defeated challenger Fabian Wharton 87-46 at the annual general meeting. And finally, a 93-year-old Ohio woman has finally received the high school diploma she was denied in 1942 because of rules that expelled married students. Dorothy Liggett was a few weeks away from graduating when North High School officials discovered she was married. Public School Superintendent David James hand-delivered the diploma to Mrs. Liggett in a surprise ceremony last Wednesday after receiving a letter about her situation from her daughter. Mr. James said he researched the matter and then decided to recognize Ms. Liggett on her birthday. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thank you so much for joining us.